Good morning, I'm Mabel Jong and you're watching the World Healthcare Congress Interview Zone, and I'm very pleased to have with me this morning Joseph Zubretsky, who is Head of National Business at Aetna. Thank you so much for your time today, Joe.
Great to be here, Mabel.
Now, you work a lot with companies, businesses, and you really have your finger on the pulse of what they're thinking about healthcare today. What are some of the concerns that you're addressing with them?
Well, I think employers, particularly large ones, take the social contract they have with their employees very seriously. And they view compensation and benefits as a competitive advantage as they participate and try to compete for labor with their competitors in the marketplace. If the tax law stays the way it is, meaning there's a tax advantage to employers providing group insurance, then I think you're going to see employers in the business of providing benefits and health care for a very long period of time. However, having said that, I think they're going to discharge those responsibilities in a much different way. You're seeing large employers today take more of a defined contribution approach rather than a defined benefit approach to providing health care with their consumers. And you're seeing employers accept the notion that health care is delivered locally, and that why wouldn't I want my employers in a certain major metropolitan area part of a medical home, an accountable care organization that truly enhances the clinical experience for their employees. So I think provider collaboration and the whole consumerism movement are two major changes in the way employers will discharge the responsibility of providing benefits.
Okay, so a lot of changes, great opportunities as well?
Fantastic opportunities, because at the end of the day, it's about the cost curve. And we can't afford the runaway trend that's existed for the past 2 decades. And we view economies in very traditional terms. Economies have a supply side and a demand side. And heretofore, all of the approaches in trying to arrest the rate of healthcare cost trend has been on the demand side. Narrow-gated HMOs back in the mid-90s. Let's limit choice and sort of have a set of arbitrary rules that tell people what they can and can't do. We believe those days are over. And without bringing in the supply side of the equation, the providers, and getting them to operate in a business model that's fundamentally different than the way they operate today, that we can't arrest the rate of healthcare costs. So supply side, the providers, demand side, the consumers, bringing together both sides of the economy for better clinical outcomes and lower cost.
How much time do you spend really educating people on how this should work? There seems to be a lot of new information that needs
Absolutely.
to be passed along to everyone and to get everyone on the same page, right?
It's a new model. It's a new model because I think people view themselves as belonging to Aetna health plans. Our view is 10 years from now, that model makes no sense. Somebody should belong to a health system, powered by Aetna, insured by Aetna, but shouldn't you belong to a medical home? In fact, part of the communication, Mabel, is to tell consumers that if you truly understood the gaps and errors in care that exist when you have free and unfettered choice to move about the system any way you want, you would be panicked to not be part of a patient-centered medical home or an accountable care organization. So there's a lot of consumer education that needs to take place that say, this isn't limited choice, this isn't a narrow-gated, low-cost network, this is an enhanced clinical experience, powered clinically for better healthcare outcomes. It's a huge education challenge.
Sounds like it. You are specifically responsible for overseeing Aetna's Accountable Care Solutions business.
Yes.
What are those solutions and what do they really provide for employers? Are they finding these attractive?
They are finding them attractive. And at the core of the model is helping a provider convert its business model from episodic acute care to patient population health so they can choose to be reimbursed not on the basis of volume, but on the basis of value. Once we change that fundamental relationship with the provider, we can deliver that value directly to a large plan sponsor and make them part of that medical home. So they're seeing huge value in this.
Okay, well, Joseph Zubretsky, thank you so much for your time today. We really enjoyed having you here.
Thanks for having me.
And I'm Mabel Jong. Thanks for watching.